As we begin hour number 3 on this Wednesday, hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Thanks for tuning us in. It's lunch hour across the great state of Alabama. This is Three Man Front. Thanks for all of you watching us on YouTube. Our numbers continue to grow daily. Howdy to you out there in YouTube world. Also, those listening on the Jocks 94.5 app, download it. Take us wherever you go. We always appreciate that greatly. Also want to point out that the listeners of Jocks so incredible. You remember Friday, we were having this discussion. Now, you were already gone. You were getting on your Lear jet, flying down to Boca for your weekend down in South Florida.
My convention?
Yes.
Yes.
Which character did you dress up this weekend?
Oh, gosh.
That was the Furby convention, right?
Mm-hmm. That was Captain America.
Captain America, okay.
Yep.
So it was a Comic-Con.
It was Comic-Con.
Okay, gotcha. But our listeners, they were giving us a little heads up about the traffic situation on 65 because Molly and I were having to go to Prattville on Friday. God bless all those
God bless
people.
whoever was in the car with you.
No, I was going to say God bless all those people that live in North Shelby County and that have to deal with that potential situation on 65.
How mad were you?
I told myself as I got in the car, driving that way, just it is what it is. So
did you have to do what we did heading to SEC Media Days when we had to go by?
No.
Went down some roads. It was like after they cleared this, we might have been the first car to ever go down this road. And then randomly a seafood market
in somebody's front yard.
Somebody's front yard appears.
That was beautiful. That was great. I don't even know what town in Georgia me and you were in.
We should have bought something.
Yeah, we should have. You wanted to.
I did. It's like, oh.
No, I
fresh Gulf shrimp.
But the listeners, they gave us plenty of warnings. Like the text line just lit up. People saying, hey, like I'm stuck in traffic right now. There was not a wreck. It's just, they're doing that expansion, I think bridge expansion just south of Alabaster, and it just and listen, for those folks in Prattville or any other school that has to like come north to Birmingham, and you got to do that almost every Friday night almost when you're not having a home game. Man, that's rough, dude.
Makes it really tough. Even if you're not going that far when you leave.
It doesn't matter.
Because if you leave to avoid traffic, you're going to be where you need to be way too early. Or if you leave when you need to leave, you're going to be late. So you just got to bite the bullet and be way too early.
But here's the thing. So going south as we're used to in Birmingham, a lot of people, it was a long weekend because a lot of schools had fall break on Friday and then you had Columbus Day on Monday. So folks were taking advantage of either going south to a lake or maybe going to the beach, whatever the case may be. 65 South is always busy around Alabaster through Calera. It was both sides. I mean, I'm talking about the other side looked worse than our side. There were no wrecks. It was just traffic. Bumper to bumper, you go 5 miles an hour for about 100 feet, stop. It was stop and go the whole way until about Calera. Then to the point Molly and I were talking at the game, we were like, okay, now we're concerned about this game's going to get over with and we're going to get packed up and get out of here around after 10 o'clock. What are we going to face coming north? And we had already like planned out going through a bunch of little rabbit trails like you and I did when we got diverted in Georgia trying to get to Atlanta in SEC Media Days. But thank goodness it was clean sailing. It was like got back at our normal, hour 15, hour 20 minutes, something like that. But thank you to the listeners because they really gave us a heads up on Friday. They were like going, look, it's going to be bad. You and Molly just better get ready. And Molly left a little bit later than I did out of Birmingham. But yeah, man, it was bad.
I'd rather drive an hour out of the way than sit in traffic.
Yes.
Stop and go.
But unfortunately, Molly and I were in a situation where there wasn't really much option for us on a Friday afternoon on 65 South. All right, enough of the traffic report on this Wednesday. The SEC football teleconference went on this morning. Kalen DeBoer, he was asked to give us an update in regards to a couple of players, the injury status of running back Jam Miller.
Yeah, I expect Derek will be out, and I think Jam's in probably what we'll put would be a questionable state for the weekend when it comes to the report tonight. That's kind of where I see it at right now.
All right, so there you go. He was talking about Derek Meadows. That was a nasty hit he took there in Columbia. And so basically you just heard what he said, that he will be out. He will not play in the Tennessee game. And Jam Miller will be questionable probably on tonight's availability report. Miller and Meadows both left the Mizzou game with concussions. Miller's injury is the most notable as he's the starting running back. Miller's a senior from Tyler, Texas. He missed the first 3 games of the season because of a dislocated collarbone. So far this season, he has tallied 58 carries for 267 yards and 1 touchdown. He's clearly the alpha in that running back room. So it will be big for Alabama to potentially have him. And the other thing, Conrad, about Jam Miller is he is so good in pass protection, picking up the blitzes.
Yeah, and that's obviously a key part of the offense. And I think you have to give credit to the running backs behind him that kind of had to come along and get better in those areas when he was out earlier in the year. And I think that experience, right, could come back and help you. But it's unfortunate. You break your collarbone at the end of fall camp. You have to miss the first chunk of the season, and now here you back are possibly missing a rivalry game against Tennessee in your final season of college football. So, yeah, hopefully he's able to go. But, yeah, it's a big loss. Not only, remember him catching the ball out of the backfield. That's how you sealed the win against Georgia, right? He does everything at such a high level. You would really like to have him available.
Also, news coming out of the state of Florida, Matt Hayes, who is a writer for USA Today. Matt's a longtime cover of the Southeastern Conference. He also does a radio show in Jacksonville, Florida. He posted an article at USA Today about 2 hours ago entitled, "Embattled Florida Coach Billy Napier Could Be Fired as Soon as This Weekend." According to Matt Hayes, athletic director Scott Strickland met with a handful of influential boosters on Tuesday and was told continuing financial support depends on new direction within the football program. 3 people with direct knowledge of the situation told USA Today Sports. I have been in contact with a couple of other people in the state of Florida, and they 100% agree and confirm what Matt Hayes is reporting, that these big boosters have had enough. They are motivated. They do not want this to continue. And if this does continue, you will not get our support. Last year, they wanted to buy him off, Landrum. They wanted to be done with him. And Scott Strickland, the athletics director, he told him to hold up. Instead of buying off Billy Napier, let's go out, put it towards NIL. Let's get guys like Dallas Wilson. Let's get guys like that on the roster, and let's see what Billy Napier can do. That's what they did. And unfortunately for Billy Napier, they have now seen that that has not been successful. So the boosters are saying, you want our money? Need a change. If not, we will not support this football program anymore.
So around the table real quick, 1 week from today, Billy Napier still there or no?
I think he's out.
Gone.
Even if they beat Mississippi State? Or is this contingent on a loss to Mississippi
I think
State?
it's contingent on loss to Mississippi State. You have a hard time. Just wait until he loses to Georgia.
Yeah, and it's a bye week too. So
It would make sense.
it makes sense. And at the bottom of the hour, we'll talk to Trey Wallace from Outkick. He tweeted out something. This is, how about, we love irony, right? We love irony in the Southeastern Conference.
But quickly, their biggest fear is Billy Napier going on a run.
Yeah, you don't want that again at all. It's just the opposite. I think people want Hugh Freeze to succeed at Auburn. It's not a situation like it was Brian Harsin.
No.
Like people were like, we got to get Brian Harsin out of here. Like we hope Auburn, let's lose some games and just let's be done with him. That's not the case with Hugh Freeze. No, but nobody down there's like going, we hate Hugh Freeze. Let's get rid of Hugh Freeze.
Culture seems healthy. Recruiting seems healthy.
Yeah, it's they want him to go on a run. Whereas at Florida, they do not want Billy Napier to go on a run. But Trey Wallace tweeted this out. Deja vu with Mississippi State. Billy Napier's final game as Florida's coach could come against the Bulldogs, just like it did for Jimbo Fisher. Some Florida staffers have been preparing for potential life outside of Gainesville. And that's coming from our guest that's going to join us in 20 minutes. So it's out there from multiple sources. So
They don't have Mizzou on their schedule, right?
Florida?
Correct.
I don't think so. I don't have it in front of me, but off the top of my head, I don't think so.
Because there's a fairly long list of coaches that have lost to Missouri, and then that was what caused them to get fired in
That's
recent
true.
SEC history with Dan Mullen being one of those names.
Yep, sure was.
If you're I just thought about it. If you're a real estate agent, like a prominent real estate agent, one of these college towns that replaces coaches a lot, you just make your career.
Yeah.
Listing and selling football coaches' houses.
Lucrative business every 3 to 4 years at this point.
I'm going to check out Napier's spread. What's he and the family having to live in?
Did you
Some
see
little
where
hut.
What are they having to live in?
Sam Pittman put his house up for sale
Oh, with the hog in the backyard?
over the weekend? It's over $4 million. If you're interested.
It was on, was it on the lake?
No, that one's not.
That's a different one.
I think he's got a lake house, but no, this is in a very nice
Okay.
estate community there in Fayetteville. Matter of fact, it used to be the home of Mike Anderson, former UAB head coach, who was the head coach at Arkansas. He bought it from him for $2.5 million.
That's pretty good.
And so now he's looking to basically almost double what he paid for it.
Yeah.
All right, I've got this is Billy Napier's house. This is a description of it. See if you guys are interested. 4 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, 5,900 square feet of space. It's a French provincial house that was constructed in 1988. It's got finished woodwork. It lies on 6.81 acres. It's got an attached 3-car garage. You've got a 2-story foyer, master wing, sitting room, a spa bath, a walk-in shower with Calcutta marble surround, a dressing room, a dining room, and a kitchen. Anything else?
All right, now hold on a second. What was the square footage?
5,900.
5,900. All right, you ready for this?
It's got a swimming pool.
Okay.
What is Sam Pittman's like 10,000 square feet or something
Here
crazy?
we go. Here's a comparison. How much is he, or does it say how much he bought it for?
It's valued at $2.3 million.
2.3 million? Okay.
Billy was conservative. Good for you, Billy.
So Sam Pittman listed his house in Fayetteville, $4 million. He purchased the house in 2020 for $2.5 million. It was the previous owner of Arkansas head basketball coach Mike Anderson. The 7,200 square foot Mediterranean style home sits on 3.8 acres.
Has it got a terracotta roof?
Includes a 5-car garage, saltwater pool, and a 1,200 square foot guest house with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. This 6-bedroom home was built in 2013. Outdoor features include covered porches, a built-in grill and refrigerator, an outdoor fireplace. Inside, a Razorback Red home theater, which includes tiered seating and a large projection screen. $4 million will get you that in Fayetteville.
Yes, sir.
So he's got a 7,200 square foot house.
If I was interested in buying it, I'd say
And you said Billy's got 52 or 50?
59.
5,900. Okay.
Yeah, take that, Billy.
But Pittman's got a guest house.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. He's got a compound out there. Must be nice.
Nice little investment. That saltwater pool.
Malzahn
5-car
still got
garage.
his house in Auburn.
Does he?
No, that was, and that's not like, I know y'all weren't, but doesn't mean.
Somebody will text in and say, yeah, Landrum Roberts. was
What are
reporting that
you
Gus is
alluding
coming.
to, Landrum?
He still owns property there and at the lake. Auburn's a nice place. Much nicer for the fans when they win football games. Nicer for the real estate agents when they don't.
Oh, yeah. That's big time. Without a doubt.
Text line is open. 205-834-9450. This one coming on the Jocks app from the state of North Carolina. 1, Landrum, ask Hugh how well him telling DJ Durkin to take it easy on Jackson Arnold during camp is working out. Great point there. 2, where would Auburn be with the D2 kid at Ole Miss, a Honda Accord versus Arnold, a hoopty Mercedes?
I don't mean that as a shot at
No.
Chambliss at all. I don't think that.
I don't know if any quarterback's going to have uber success based on what you have them set up in. If this is your offensive identity.
Yeah, I mean you could be better, but it's not just Jackson.
Somebody asked, what do y'all think about Bama versus Tennessee this weekend? Roll Tide. My buddy Ryan had a good weekend. Kentucky was on a bye week, but they still somehow lost. LOL. Thank you, Darren. I like Alabama in this game. Minus the points right now. What about you, Conrad?
So you like Bama in the 8.5? I think it's 8.5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Alabama. I just probably take Tennessee in the points personally. But yeah, I think Alabama will win.
I like the over.
Man, I thought I liked the over in Alabama games, but this is like 3 straight weeks that they haven't hit it, and I thought they would. So
Hey, John is saying we need to check out Sam Pittman's lake house on Lake. How do you pronounce that again? Ouachita. Well, that's the lake.
Waukta.
Is it?
I don't know. It sounds fun. Is the lake house? That's one where he has the big razorback in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because that's cool. I did like that.
Richard, it's worth nothing that Jam Miller is a huge running back with bulging muscles, but he is missing games because of normal contact injuries, so it makes you question what's going on. What's going on, emoji?
I mean, I could understand without the collarbone, but he got hit in the head. It's a concussion. It's a normal football injury. Just because you're big and strong doesn't mean you can't get your noggin knocked around.
Does Bo Wallace have any eligibility left for Hugh?
Bo.
I don't know.
Good Bo or bad Bo?
Are they on good terms right now?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's right. Bo Wallace. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they don't like each other, do they? Or Bo doesn't like Hugh Freeze.
If the congregation gets rid of Brother Hugh, who would each of you target for head coach? Thank you, Wayne. If they did, my first phone call would be John Summerall.
I 100% agree with that.
Pat?
I would absolutely call John Summerall.
Molly, does she want to weigh in? She says John Summerall. All right.
And then, I guess if you get past that, that's when you get to your Rhett Lashley conversations, your Kenny Dillingham conversations, maybe an Alex Golish.
Here's the thing: if I don't know if Florida would go that route because they went the route.
You mean of going to get a
group of 5 coach?
Yeah.
Ouachita.
Oh, the lake?
Maybe.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to see who's available. If you're tired of worrying about your roof, whether it's your family home or a commercial building, Abide Roofing delivers tailored solutions for every need. At Abide, it's about more than just a new roof. It's about a team of highly skilled pros who bring their A game every single job. Travis Lloyd and his outstanding local roofing team with over 25 years of trusted experience, they have the expertise to get the job done right the very first time, like they did my roof, a whole roof replacement, and hadn't had to call them since. The materials, the warranty, everything, just outstanding. Abide Roofing can give you a free consultation and estimate, 205-941-6223. Go to their website, abideroof.com. Abide Roofing, quality, precision, customer satisfaction every single time. A perfect 5-star rating on Google reviews. Go check them out. Abide Roofing, abideroof.com, 205-941-6223.
Ouachita. You got to be careful with that one. All right, we'll continue. Trey Wallace, as previously mentioned, talking SEC college football across the landscape at 12:30. Three-man front continues on Jocks. Wichita. 12:22, three-man front. Here on this Wednesday, breaking down Sam Pittman's home that's for sale in Fayetteville, looking at his sprawling lake house. Now checking out Billy Napier's 5,900 square foot home. It's French provincial, built in 1988. If you're interested in Gainesville and the Fayetteville area and purchasing a home, Billy Napier's might be available very soon. They're in Gainesville. Smokey has thrown out a great suggestion. We have not done this in a while. Let's see if Conrad will take the bait. If the Vols win, Smokey text, please talk Molly into breaking out her war paint and checkerboard Conrad's face. Yeah.
I still have plenty of paint, so I would have plenty of paint to checkerboard.
And then me and Pat get to play checkers on your face.
Yeah.
You'd have to shave your face.
I think we might be done with that until we had our fun. Y'all had your fun.
You had fun.
I participated.
You love having your face painted.
I have more glitter, too.
Not feeling the checkerboard on Monday. Not that I would have to worry about it anyways.
More Buck Baloo. Sam says James Franklin to Florida.
I definitely think his name will be out there.
Buck Baloo.
Yeah, James Franklin.
It's not a
Florida,
bad idea,
That'd be
though.
interesting.
Yeah, James Franklin, though, it was rumored that he was trying to get the Florida job the last time it was open. Trying to get back down south. Well, he's got an opportunity. He's got plenty of money to do it.
Look, I think whoever hires James Franklin, they're getting a very good coach. Now, is it a coach that's going to win you a national championship? Probably not. But he is still a good coach. He just can't beat the best coaches.
It's amazing that when coaches, for whatever reason, they move on or they get fired, that everybody starts unloading on the guy that used to be the head coach. And reading the things that you're reading in Pennsylvania, the people that cover that program, like for his entire tenure, that dude was a very difficult individual to deal with. And it's one thing when you win championships, you can kind of like go, okay, I get it. I'll put up with it. But when you don't win like James Franklin and you still act that way to the people around the program, that's a problem. There was nobody crying over James Franklin leaving. I can promise you that.
Jason, thanks for listening on the Ump in Huntsville. Does all of the Alabama hate come from them getting squealed on by Fulmer and nearly getting the death penalty, or from when Tennessee beat them so many times in the late 90s and early 2000s? Either way, it's completely hilarious. Hashtag Rocky Top.
What was the question again?
Where does all the Alabama hate towards Tennessee come from?
I mean, I can tell you the 90s where it came from.
So is he insinuating that Tennessee fans don't hate Alabama fans?
Because Phil Fulmer is a fraud. He's a backstabber. He's a complete schmuck. Yeah. Oh. There's a couple of reasons why.
Jake says, I'm an Alabama fan, but if I was Auburn, I'd call Kurt Signetti and make him say no. It sounds good. I was looking up his contract earlier. Kurt Signetti, if they fired him without cause, would be owed around $57 million.
How much did you say?
$57 million.
Okay.
He just signed a new deal last year. He got a new deal. They doubled his salary. He's making 8 points. He's got retention bonuses too, so 8.3 a year. Somewhere in there. Not too bad. K-Dub says Franklin headed to North Carolina.
Ooh.
Drake says, I can see Spurrier getting involved with some big-time boosters, going after Lane Kiffin. He loves Spurrier, wanted to be just like him, and Kiffin's wife, Layla, has a lot of family ties. Kiffin still has a house in Florida, so I can see Florida making him an offer he can't refuse. Well, Florida's a big state, Drake. I don't know if his house is in Gainesville, but yes, I think he does still have property. Did he buy the house that FAU paid for him to live in on the water while he was
In
there?
Fort
That was part
Lauderdale?
of his deal.
I don't know.
We didn't have time to go by there. I wanted to. It's a beautiful home. The only reason that Franklin wasn't left on the tarmac is because it was a home game. The hate comes from Fulmer calling y'all the B word, Crimson Comet. He called Pat and Paul and Carrie the B word.
Yeah. I mean, but again, we were heavily involved in the lawsuits that were involved with, in which he did not come to SEC media days because he was scared he was going to get served and had to be on a speakerphone. Just ask Johnny Major's family how Philip Fulmer was to that family. As their coaching father was on the gurney having open heart surgery, and Philip Fulmer was doing what he could behind the scenes to make sure he got the job full time. Good times.
John, Texas in Landrum. That lake is Washita. He says you're giving it a gallant effort, like Auburn's offense on fourth down. Keep trying with no success. Laughing, crying emoji. Thank you, John. I will, you know what? You're the latest text that I read, so I'll take your pronunciation. I'm just going off of what listeners are sending in to us because I admittedly had no idea.
Well, anytime we get an opportunity to talk to Bob Ibach from Nyco Sports,
It means we're celebrating.
It means something big is happening. And so Bob Ibach joins us now.
Maybe 2 or 3 from Nyco. You're going to see often. You're an out plan would make a gift the idea the Crimson officially licensed, and only 2,025 of these will ever be made. We're kicking off the project today, so your audience will be the first to know about this. They're priced at $129.95. Each football comes with an individually numbered certificate of authenticity. Now, what you're going to get on that 3 panels, I'll describe it, is something that's never been done before on an Alabama football. It lists on the top panel all 18 of the national championships by years, including their season record as well as the score of the championship game, right next to a beautiful Alabama helmet logo. Then you go down to the second panel, right below that, there's a list of the 30 SEC championship years, their overall record, conference records, and it says a limited edition right next to another Alabama logo. Now, the third panel is a aerial color panoramic photograph of Bryant-Denny Stadium. We've done that before, but never on a day when the Alabama band spelled out the famous A in the middle of the field. This is the only time they've ever had a photograph of that situation, and it really looks beautiful from an aerial shot. So you're going to get this unbelievable football. It probably captures every aspect of Alabama football history right on it. And again, it's only $129.95, and you'll get that individually numbered certificate of authenticity. Here's how you can get this, because it is very limited. I know these will sell out. The toll-free number to call to get it is 800-345-2868. That's 800-345-2868. Or if the phone lines are jammed, and I know they probably will be, you can go right to NICOsports.com and see it there and order it there. NICCOsports.com. That's NICCOsports.com. Or again, that phone number, 800-345-2868. You can display this at home, in your office, in your man cave, she shed, whatever. And I guarantee you, Alabama fans will come in and say, "Where did you get that football?" It's not being sold at stores. You cannot get it over at the stadium, only through Nyco Sports. This is very limited, and it's officially licensed. For $129.95, you're going to get a piece of history that people will be talking about for many, many years to come.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Landrum and I are sitting here looking at it now, and it is just spectacular. And anybody that has a man cave, or if you're a fan of the Alabama football team, this is a must have. Once again, 800 345 2868, or simply go to Nyco Sports. That's NIKCO Sports.com. Bob, I'm sure we'll be catching up with you again very soon. Always great to talk to you.
Well, Landrum and Pat, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys, and it's always fun watching Alabama football. So I try to find them every Saturday. I'm up here in the Chicago area, but I've got a whole section of my man cave just for Alabama.
There's no doubt. Bob, hope to talk to you soon. Thanks again.
Okay, stay well. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. That's Bob Iback, 1-800-345-2868, or go to NIKOsports.com. That's NIKCO Sports.com. More of Three Man Front. Trey Wallace from Outkick will join us next. Always a highlight of the week when we get an opportunity to catch up with Outkick's Trey Wallace. does an outstanding job covering the world of college football. He is all over the place, all over this great country of ours, covering the game of college football. And he's going to be on our neck of the woods as the Alabama Crimson Tide will be taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. Joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline is Trey Wallace from Outkick. Trey, I hope you're well. Before we talk about the third Saturday in October, I wanted to ask your opinion of what's going on in Gainesville. What can you tell us about Billy Napier potentially coaching his last game for the Gators?
Yeah, guys, always good to join y'all. It feels like it last couple of weeks, man. I've been coming into y'all's neck of the woods when we do this, so it's almost perfect timing looking ahead to the weekend. But, yeah, a lot of moving parts right now going on in Gainesville. There's a lot of tension within the football program, within the athletic department about the current status of Billy Napier. And, you know, I wrote a column earlier today and talking with a bunch of sources down in the Florida area and folks that are involved with the program. And it's kind of reached a boiling point, to say the least. I can't say the words that were on this air that were given to me, but it's gotten so, maybe the best way is unconventional, that you've got even lower level folks that don't have those massive buyouts and don't have the guaranteed contracts and whatnot. You've got them looking around the country, engaging the interest in what the market would look like for their services, you know, once it comes to an end for Billy Napier down in Gainesville. And I think that, you know, is something that, you know, people at Penn, there were folks at Penn State, you know, the previous 2 weeks were kind of doing the same, floating resumes out there, talking, back channeling, trying to figure out, you know, if there are going to be job opportunities available for them, you know, and we're talking about recruiting staffers, we're talking about GAs, we're talking about, you know, interns and folks like that, you know, are just kind of caught up in all this. And you have to remember, Billy Napier brought on a massive staff and a lot bigger than what you see across college football. Now, obviously that's changed in the last 2 years for plenty of schools, but at the same time, so many people could be out of a job very soon. And I know that, you know, look, they usually keep all these folks on till the end of the season, you know, let that play out, and then you move forward from there. But it's just, there's a lot of nervousness right now, and it's interesting. You know, Mississippi State is I don't know how you phrase these guys, but it's, you know, almost Darth Vader showing up at your door. Because you remember Ron Zook, you know, after Mississippi State games was let go. You remember a few years ago, Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M go out and win 51-10. Well, Texas A&M's Board of Regents and the athletic director at the time had already made that decision. No matter what he did against Mississippi State, he was going to be fired on that Saturday night and that Sunday. And just from gauging the temperature down there, it feels like this is going to happen very sooner rather than later. They know that this Florida team is not going to win 5 or 6 more games on the season. I was told entering the year that Billy needed to win 8 to keep his job. And this is a team that was, look, I remember having a conversation with you guys about this is a CFP team. This is a team that's going to fight for, you know, to be in the 12-team spot. And now you look at it and where they've gone. The one thing that stands out to me about Florida, too, is it's not as if the players have given up. It's not like a Penn State situation where Oregon broke them. Oregon broke that football team. You look at the first half against A&M last week, I thought Florida played really well. The defense at least did. You know, for the other 3 quarters, they didn't score any points, but it's not like they've thrown in the towel. The problem is that when you have so much chatter going on, and these players hear it, the families are talking to them, the families are blowing up. You got agents that are talking to players, trying to figure out, you know, where they're going to potentially be at next year if they don't like the new head coach that's in there. And one point of emphasis that has to be made here, the NCAA is changing the rules, guys. So you don't get 30 days immediately after a coach is fired. You've got to wait now until either it's announced or they sign a piece of paper, meaning the new coach, then you can enter the transfer portal 5 days after. So it gives Florida a little bit of leniency when it comes to how they want to handle the Billy Napier situation. But just talking with folks in Florida, he's not the guy that's going to turn them into a college football playoff team, and that's becoming more evident every single weekend. And you would think after beating Texas, okay, go on the road, go play Texas A&M hard, score some points. And it's just after that first quarter, kind of everything went south on offense. So it's more or less a waiting game now. And you've got folks that are trying to see what would be out there here in the near future.
I guess it depends on who you ask. Some people might think this is a no-brainer, but I want to pose it to you, Trey. All things being considered, what's the better job, Florida or Penn State?
Oh, man. I would probably say Penn State right now. You've got an opportunity, I think, in the Big Ten to kind of make up a little ground. I think that what they're ready to spend on NIL, and this is not a shot at Florida in any way. I want to make that clear. But Florida, you got a lot of boosters sitting around in Florida kind of waiting to see if they want to throw in some money. The return on investment has not gone well at Florida. Now, look, I can say the same thing about Penn State, obviously. But this was a Penn State team 3 weeks ago. It's one Drew Aller interception away from potentially, I'm not saying they would beat Oregon, but, you're going to force maybe another overtime. Who knows what happens in that game? So you look at both of the scenarios. I think if you brought in the right coach to Florida, I think that could work. I think the donations would be there. I think the fan buy-in would be there. You can't swing and miss on this one. You got to go out for the home run. And obviously every school is trying to do that. But just overall, looking at it right now, I like Penn State more than I like Florida. And I would say the same thing about a couple of other schools as well that are even in the Southeastern Conference. Like Lane Kiffin's got himself a better situation in Oxford, in my opinion, than he would have in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
he's going to be on the list. So that's what makes this thing intriguing moving forward. And hell, Penn State just fired a coach that, if I'm being honest with you guys, I think he'd do a heck of a job in Gainesville, and that would be James Franklin.
Trey, I know you're driving. Is it okay if we hold you for another segment? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on. Trey Wallace from Outkick will continue this conversation, including his thoughts on the third Saturday in October. That's next on Three Man Front. Back on this Wednesday edition of Three Man Front, Trey Wallace from Outkick. We continue our conversation with Trey. Trey's on his way from the great state of Tennessee to our neck of the woods. He'll be in Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saturday night. So let's talk about this game, Trey. What has impressed you the most about this Alabama football team from Florida State to current? Maybe we lost Trey. Thought that was a great question.
I hope not.
Thought that was a great question.
No, it was a great question. Practice it.
No, I've only done it once. But
No, do it with an accent. this
no,
time.
what kind of accent?
Go transatlantic.
Transatlantic, or would you like maybe, I don't know, Texan?
Texan. Go Texan. You live there. Texan.
I'm not.
What
doing
happened to
that.
Trey? We put him on hold.
I don't know.
Is he on 65? Is he in traffic?
Oh my gosh. Leave it to Conrad. Screw things up.
Man, how many times have we done that?
I mean, a bunch.
See, that goes to show our listeners. You can run it and practice a million times.
Yeah, but Conrad keeps
But
screwing it up.
the lights come on,
I know.
and it's an actual game.
Yep.
Your guy doesn't get it done.
All right, Trey's back with us.
Trey?
Trey, my question was, you're coming down for the third Saturday in October, Bama versus Tennessee. What has impressed you the most from the Florida State game to current about this Alabama football team?
The fact that you've seen a resilient bunch get off the mat and come back with authority. I think, to me, it could have gone so sideways after that Florida State game. It really could, because we all knew the national narrative. We were talking about it. I'd like to say it for here that Alabama is back in the national championship picture.
Wait, but how about Clemson? How about Clemson, Trey?
Pat,
unfortunately, I don't get a mulligan on Clemson now. Dang it! I knew y'all would get me. Just look the way Ty Simpson has come out and continued to perform, learning from that first game. It helped that he had a couple of cupcakes to get things rolling. And then you look at what they've been able to do at the running back position. I understand the situation with Jam Miller right now being dinged up. I get that part, but I just think they never got lost in the moment in what they've been and how they've been able to win too. You got to remember, I mean, Vanderbilt turns the ball over twice inside the Alabama 10-yard line. Okay, well, Vanderbilt scores at least 2 field goals there. I'm not saying Vanderbilt would have won the game. I'm saying it had been a different score at the end. You look at the Missouri game where Missouri's fighting back, and it's a back-and-forth battle, and Alabama is able to pull that one out. You look at the Georgia game. Going on the road to Georgia and winning that game in that environment, the mental toughness from this group, that to me has stood out more than anything. And it feels like a Kalen DeBoer squad that I sit there and watched him coach at Washington. You just have a different mindset. And I think, to me, this is a group that has grown up a lot over the last 6 weeks, and now they're ready to make a run. They got a tough game this weekend. I think the best thing for Alabama is Tennessee's secondary is so bad and giving up yards. But do they try to change things up a little bit and come at Alabama, extra guys in the box, put some pressure on Ty Simpson? But yeah, it's been a really, really interesting and cool turnaround to see because of the way that the first week happened and kind of everybody, including myself, wrote them off.
Who are you more impressed with? I realize there's big games, a lot of big games left for both of these teams, but Texas A&M or Ole Miss?
Oh, Ole Miss is in a situation where you got a quarterback that was at Ferris State previously, and now he's thrust into it with all the attention was on Austin Simmons before the season. You've got a spot at Texas A&M where Marcel Reed's living up to the standard. Mike Elko's getting it out of his defense. And at the same time, it doesn't feel like when Florida came out and they were going back and forth with A&M in that first quarter, Texas A&M never flinched. And they're finding ways to win these games. I think it's a hard comparison to make right now, but I'm more impressed with how Mike Elko has done it in this situation, because especially on the defensive side. Now, look, that could all change this weekend. Ole Miss could go into Georgia and win that game, and we're like, oh, goodness, okay, Lane Kiffin goes on the road and gets a big one. But I'm just saying overall, that win over Notre Dame cannot be overlooked as well. That was massive, especially looking at what the Irish have right now. So I would say Texas A&M right now, but obviously Ole Miss is a close second.
That is Trey Wallace. You can follow his work at outkick.com. Trey, always great to catch up with you. We got so much to go over next week because this week's docket in the SEC is incredible. Safe travels down to Tuscaloosa, and we'll talk to you next week.
Guys, thanks for having me. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you very much. That's Trey Wallace joining us on the Higginbotham hotline. All of our guests join us on that hotline because Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Ole Miss has got Georgia on the road this weekend. They've got to travel next week to Oklahoma. Then home games versus South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, then the Egg Bowl. Your feelings as an Ole Miss fan? You think they split the two road games, or do you think they go over? Be honest.
Split.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't give me the option of winning them all, but okay. I'll say split.
Because we all know that's not going to happen.
Oh, do we?
We do.
Oh, wow.
Your coach has a track record. You like to bring up stats? We're going to bring up your coach's stats.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this is the year, though. Wouldn't this be the year?
Where did you vote Ole Miss again in your SEC preseason?
Dead last.
That's what I thought.
Behind Swanee.
But ahead of Tulane
Well, yeah.
and Georgia Tech.
How about Georgia Tech? They're still 6-0.
That's right. They're going to the college football playoff.
I called it.
I know. You predicted it.